What's up, everybody? I'm Michael Christ, 3 years running top seller at ShineOn, now head of marketing at ShineOn. And before we get started in today's video, I just wanted to thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. If you like this kind of content, I want you to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I hope you enjoy the video. Welcome to the best part of your week. We've got some really good content for you today. And we're going to get started here in just a second with a toast. So go grab your mugs, flask, bottles. Don't get left behind. This is the start to an amazing weekend and an amazing next week, by the way, until we have another fantastic Coffee with Michael. Okay, everybody, reach for a glass because it's about to get a whole lot better. You ready? Here we go. Raise up your glasses, mugs, bottles, or flask and join me now for the Digital Marketer's Toast. Here's to more conversions, more cash, cheap CPMs, and lower CACs, to higher CTRs, much higher CVRs, to enabled ad accounts and big bank accounts, to an upsells, downsells, and cross sells, to repeat products, to winning products and repeat sales, to the thing that everybody knows, the riches are in the niches, but also your email flows. Are you ready? Drink. That's how you kick off a Coffee with Michael, am I right? We're going to do product teardowns today. Product teardowns, these are always fun. It takes a lot of courage to do a teardown. Props to everybody that submitted one. We had quite a few submissions. We can never get to all of them, but it does take quite a lot of courage to submit. Let's get into it. Product teardowns. Before we get into teardowns, I got to show you one of the best comments I've ever seen in our Facebook group. If you missed last week's Coffee with Live, you should probably go watch a recording. For some reason, chickens became this kind of inside joke during the recording. You're just going to have to go back to see that. But Shay, somebody in the ShineOn community here, left a really awesome comment on one of the posts, and I thought I would share it with everybody here. Take a look at this. She made a video of me doing my toast last week, and she paused it. Now comes this chicken, and this chicken drinks. And it's better with audio. This is a GIF or a GIF, however you say that. You should go try to find this and watch it with audio. Shay, congratulations. You're getting some ShineOn swag for that. If you want to get some ShineOn swag, this is the kind of comment you leave in the group right here, because this will get you some swag. So, Zach, if you could reach out to Shay and hook her up, I'd appreciate it. All right. I'm glad you guys are enjoying that as much as I am. Okay. So, as always, let's get into some seller successes from last week. We have Adrian De Silva. I had to feature Adrian. Adrian is a friend of ours. He's a longstanding member of the community. He likes to come hang out at headquarters. We know Adrian really well. And he did $477 in profit in 24 hours. Congratulations, Adrian. Adrian's a true example of persistence and grit in this business, because I know he's had his share of challenges to kind of overcome as it relates to succeeding with ShineOn, and he's done amazing. So congratulations, Adrian. You've got some swag coming your way, buddy. Next up is Mirko. Mirko shared he did $1,000 in revenue in one day. $1,000 in revenue in one day. $259 net profit. $259 net profit. How would you like to have $259 extra dollars of profit just added to your bank account overnight? Full-time job, part-time job, whatever you got going on, you get an extra $259. Just popping in the bank account. Tell me that wouldn't feel good. This is actually one of the things that drew me to ShineOn in the beginning when I had a full-time job, is I was kind of like, well, I can sell all day long. If I get up early and I grind early, right, and I do all my work, then during the day I can run ads and just, as long as I just have a way to monitor my ads without having to sit on top of them all day long, it's not passive income, but it allows me to earn extra income even while I'm at a job. It allows me to leverage my time a little bit better. And guess what? Facebook has a iOS app that you can use to manage your ads. And this is a real shocker for a lot of people. But on the day I did $92,000 in revenue in a single day, I was managing my ads from my cell phone. I didn't launch my ads from my cell phone, launched them. I use kind of a method I call the IM algorithm method. It required pretty intense monitoring for at least, I don't know, 2 hours or so. But after that, I monitored the ads for the rest of the day from my cell phone. I spent like $30,000 that day from my cell phone. Nobody really believes that, but that's when you're grinding it out. That's how you do it right there. Okay, let's keep going. So congrats, Mirko, buddy. Congratulations. All right, then we got a whole bunch of people here posting about their sales. We have Zarul did one sale. Congratulations. It was his first sale. Fantastic. John's also got a sale coming in here. Fantastic, John. Good work, buddy. We have Ricardo here with another first sale. I love the first sales. It's just super encouraging, you know? And especially if you're like struggling to have success yourself and you see other people doing it and you know that they're just like you, it just, I don't know, there's something about that that's inspiring, you know, and it shows you that it is possible. Anyway, Ricardo, fantastic job. Everybody on you see here has got some swag coming. So I don't know if that's a t-shirt, a mug, a backpack. We'll surprise you. We'll just surprise you. And all the ShineOn swag is so good. Trust me, you're going to love whatever you get. All right, then we have MD Kamrul Hassan Khan. Apologize if I messed any of that up. First sale, let's party. Loving that. Loving that. Congratulations, MD. You know, back to Ricardo real quick. Look at this. Look at his revenue here. $85 on his first sale. That's a mammoth first sale. My first sale wasn't that big. So that's pretty amazing. Talk about some AOVs right there. Congratulations, Ricardo. You earned it, buddy. You earned it. All right. Then we have Sanchali. I hope I'm saying that right. Please forgive me if I'm not. We have first sale here too, $37 profit, $61 in revenue. Again, loving those AOVs. Anytime you get over $60 is just feels good, right? And then we have Timothy Walker. I believe he's got $74 on his first sale. Oh, he's posting his commission. So he's got some commissions coming out. So congratulations to Timothy. Congratulations, everybody. Let's get some applause going. Let's get some applause emojis. Congratulations. All of you have got some swag coming. Great work. Keep it up. And if you are on this journey with the rest of us, you want to post your progress in the Facebook group over the next week. Post your testimonial, whether you're doing big figures, you have a 4-figure day, a 3-figure day, you're getting your first sale. Put those in the group, and you may be pulled out of the group, featured in Coffee with Michael, and given some free swag. Who doesn't want some free ShineOn swag, by the way? I'm wearing some ShineOn swag right now. That's probably why I'm having such a good freaking day today. It's because of this swag here. But it's also because of Coffee with Michael, and I'm here with you. Who am I kidding? Yeah, so, you know, one important thing we try to embody here at ShineOn is that, you know, a rising tide lifts all ships, right? Everybody benefits from this. The pie is ginormous. We're not actually in competition with each other. At least I don't think so. We're in competition with like somebody going to Walmart or somebody going to Amazon or somebody going to a Target and buying this kind of stuff. We're not really in direct competition with each other. The pie is massive. It's unbelievably massive, in fact. The first product I ever sold, you know, I sold it to over $1 million. And I actually gave my winning phrase away to somebody else because I thought I'd used it up after $1 million in revenue. I just thought I'd use it up, gave it to somebody else. And I'm not kidding. I think they did like another 2 million out of that particular phrase. And I was chapped my hide a little bit because I gave away a really nice product. But kudos to that other individual because they deserved every penny of it. They did some things that I never would have done. Anyway, my point though is that's how big the market is. That's how big the market is. One winning phrase you can take to that length. I know another seller, I don't really want to call him out, who's done about $3 million on a single phrase. So you hit the right phrase and it's amazing how big the market is. So anyway, that's why I love these seller success stories. We support each other. The pie is huge. It's huge. And there's a piece in there for all of us. So, okay, Mauricio, we are in competition with ourselves. Now that is a fact, my friend. Good point. You're really in competition with who you were yesterday, right? And who you were the day before. I like to aim for 1% improvement if I can every single day. That makes a huge difference in the long term. It compounds, see? But he's totally right. We're not in competition with each other. You're really in competition with yourself and who you were yesterday. Keep that in mind. Okay, so we don't get too in the weeds here. Let's get back to the subject today. All right, what makes a winner? What makes a winning product? So we are doing teardowns today, but I figured before we do teardowns, it'd probably be smart for us to go over what actually makes a winning product. Then you can actually help me do the teardowns when we get to it. So what makes a winner? What makes a winner? Let's get into it. So grab your pens, grab your notepads, get ready to learn. Switch gears here. We are about to dig in. So what makes a winner? Okay, first of all, the phrase. The phrase is the most important part of any product. Now, you probably heard a lot of people say it at this point. You can, if you make a winning product, you can run bad ads and you'll still sell. Promise you that. Promise you that. If you have a winning product, you can run bad ads and you'll still make sales. However, if you have a crap product, the best ads in the world is not going to make it a winner. The best ads in the world will not make a bad product a winner. There's no way. It's just putting lipstick on a pig. You might be able to get some sales, but you're never going to be able to scale it to the moon. A good product is really what fuels everything else that you do in this business. So what makes a good product? Well, it starts with the phrase. The phrase is everything. We like to say it's the phrase that pays. It's the phrase that pays. We also like to say if they cry, they'll buy, right? Because it speaks to the important elements in the phrase. And we're going to tease some of those out here in a minute. But the phrases are so important. We have these little catchphrases, I guess, about how important they are. So just think about that. Let that resonate for a minute. So first of all, when you're making a phrase, we like to use the greeting card format, right? So to so-and-so, from so-and-so. Now, look, I'm giving you guys rules, but to every, there's always an exception to this, okay? So what I'm laying out here is where we see most of our success. That doesn't mean that every success is going to completely fall into some of these guidelines I'm giving you. But if you're new, you should follow the guidelines. Imitate before you innovate, right? Imitate before you innovate. I'm telling you exactly what we see work. I'm telling you the trends that we see that work, right? So imitate before you innovate. Once you've got some experience under your belt, you can start to experiment. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But okay, the phrase. So we like to use the greeting card format, to so-and-so, from so-and-so. We like to do that. Now you can niche that down a little bit if you want. You can say, not only to my wife, to my daughter, from your husband, from your dad, but you can also put to my nurse wife, right? Or from your firefighter husband, things like that. You can start to niche things down a little bit more than that. If it moves people emotionally, if they cry, they'll buy. So you need your phrase to move people emotionally. This is actually the most important part, I think, of making a winning phrase, is making sure that it moves somebody emotionally, right? You have to really kind of tug at the heartstrings. Usually you're not going to be able to do that by writing the phrases yourself. I would strongly recommend do phrase research. Use the Franken phrases method that I've taught elsewhere, or use some other winning phrases as long as they're not copywritten. But do phrase research, find something that's already got some proven sales, and try to use that on your phrases. Don't make things up. It's very rare you're going to make something up and it's going to become a winner. Not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying it's rare. All right. The phrase should be short enough that it's eligible and easily read on mobile device. Okay, it's short enough that it's eligible, that it's legible, and easily read on mobile devices. So what that means is you need the phrase. If there are too many words in it, those words have to get smaller to fit on the actual message card. So you need the phrase to be short enough that the words are large and can be read on a cell phone. Keep in mind, when people are on Facebook, most of the time they're on the cell phone. There are cell phones, so they're scrolling through, right? When your ad pops up, you want them to be able to read the entire phrase right on their cell phone. So it's very important that the phrase is large. So people always ask me for phrase length, and I can't pin down a number. All I can tell you is it needs to be short enough, it's legible, and easily read on a cell phone. That's the rule, okay? You need to make sure, though, that the phrase is long enough that it has emotional impact, okay? If the phrase is too short, it won't have emotional impact. So that's where there's this weird trade-off, and yet it's kind of a balancing act. The phrase needs to have enough in there to resonate and to have emotional impact, while at the same time being short enough that it can be easily read on a cell phone. So there's a balancing act there, and you have to find out where that's at, okay? I've tested long phrases, short phrases. I've tested everything in between. I'm telling you, this is the guiding rule that we use now when we're doing our testing. All right, another thing, you need to make sure the phrase has no spelling or grammatical errors, right? It needs to be correct in its spelling and grammar. this is going to turn away buyers. Okay. I strongly recommend, if English is a second language and maybe it's not a real strong language for you, you get some of your stuff proofread, even in the ShineOn community, or reach out to a friend, right? Maybe make a friendship here in the community and see if there is a native English speaker who can kind of proofread some of that for you before it goes out. I highly recommend something like that, because you may not even understand why your products aren't selling. And it could be because there's a spelling or a grammar error in there that you're not even aware of. So, and we see this, we honestly, guys, we see this all the time. We see phrases go up with spelling or grammar errors. So just buddy up with somebody and, help each other out. Use the buddy system. All right. And also use fonts that are easy to read. Fonts that are easy to read. I try to stay away from cursive in particular. You'll find that on a lot of designs that end up going viral, whether it's t-shirts, mugs, jewelry, whatever it is, most of the time it's in all caps. All caps just tends to be a little easier to read, and they typically stay away from cursive. Now, again, I'm giving you rules. To every rule, there's going to be an exception. I'm not saying you're never going to see something take off that's outside of this, but as a general rule, caps is a safe bet, and trying to stay away from things that are cursive is also smart. Some of it comes down to your niche too. The older your buyer, right, the more aware of some of these things you need to be. Because perhaps an older buyer whose eyesight isn't as good, they see a bunch of cursive, their eyes are going to just scramble that, right? They're not going to be able to read it. So very important. All right, so that's the phrase, right? Greeting card format, move people emotionally, and then phrase length is pretty important. Okay, now we're going to talk about your design. Your design. This is another area I see a lot of new people make mistakes. They get overzealous with the design, right? And you can tell whenever you see these, because the design is overpowers everything else on the message card. When you flip to the message card, the first thing you see is the design. Then you notice the phrase, and the phrase is hidden in there somewhere. So always try to keep your design simple. You typically don't want your design to overpower or compete with your phrase. You want your phrase to be the thing that stands out. After all, it's the phrase that pays, right? It's the phrase that's causing somebody to buy. It's the phrase that causes someone to have an emotional reaction, right, that provokes them to buy. So you need to make sure that phrase is kind of front and center, and anything you do with the design just complements the phrase, okay? And again, these are rules. There's exceptions, all right? I'm giving you the rules. You also need to make sure that the phrase is not covered up or blocked by the jewelry item in the mock-ups. We see this a lot too, where the phrase will run right across the jewelry item, and the jewelry will hang down in front of it, so you can't even read the words. Now look, depending on how that's laid out, some people may be able to get past that. However, the older your audience is, the less likely they're probably going to be able to do that, because they may already be on a cell phone, it may already be tiny, and they're trying to squint and see what word is behind a necklace or something like that. Don't give them that problem. So make sure that the phrase is laid out in such a way that the necklace does not hang over the top of it. And I believe we've updated all of our mock-ups now to show where the necklace hangs to help with a lot of that. So anyways, that hopefully is not a mistake too many people are making anymore, but they do show up occasionally. Don't use elements that turn some buyers away. Example, images of people with identifiable traits such as hair color, length, height, etc. Now look, this one's a little bit of a double-edged sword, because while I'm telling you, you should probably avoid elements that may turn a buyer away, there might be elements you want to add to attract a specific kind of buyer, right? It kind of depends on your niche and where you're going. If you're going into a niche that's got like a television show as a theme, you may want to include some imagery from that television show, as long as it's not copywritten, to attract people that like the television show, even if it pushes away a larger segment of the audience, right? But that's a strategic way to use it. However, if you're just getting started and you're trying to go broad, like to my wife jewelry item, you're probably not going to want to put in there two slim young people kissing under the moonlight, and where you can make out all these details, like the girl has blonde hair, the guy has brown hair. Like when you do that, you start to create a situation where the buyer can't identify with the characters on the design, and that can turn them away. So you want to be careful about how you use that. The other thing is, use darker or lighter backgrounds and avoid shades in the middle of the value spectrum. So again, these are the rules, right? I like to use values that are up here. This is a value spectrum, right? It's just, it just maps out light to dark, basically. I like to use shades that are on opposite ends of the value spectrum, right? So either things that are pretty dark or things that are pretty light. And that's because it's easy to find contrast. So if I have a dark background, I can use like white text, white imagery, things like that, and it stands out. Or I can do a white background and black text and black imagery. That's all great. But when you're in the middle of the value spectrum, it gets much harder to do that. Everything gets muddy and it blends together. It can be difficult for the eyes to perceive the difference. So that's some design tips. Let's talk very quickly about product market fit. One thing you want to ask is it acceptable for the niche that I've chosen? So you want to make sure that whatever niche you've chosen, your product is going to fit with that particular niche. There are a lot of ways to kind of mess that up. So you need to think through and make sure all that's going to work out. For example, there was a product we did on the last Teardown where it was a gift to a daughter. And on the design, though, there was a girl, like it was like 4 years old or something like that, holding a teddy bear. And I was kind of thinking, probably very few people are going to buy a relatively expensive piece of jewelry for a girl that's young enough still that they're clinging to their childhood stuffed animal or whatever. And then I also had another thought, which was, and if that's not their target audience, if they are actually going for somebody that's maybe a little bit older and mature enough to wear a piece of jewelry, they're not going to want to design with that on it because they're not going to be able to resonate with it. So you need to think through some of that when you're creating your design. All right, next, is the age appropriate to my buyer recipient demographics? So that's kind of falls right in line with that example. Let's keep going here because I want to get to the teardowns. All right, let's talk about your product page. You need to make sure that you have congruence between your ads and your product page, right? So this is part of a teardown because we're not looking at just the design. We're looking at kind of the product page that's housed in. That's important. And when you're running ads, you need to make sure there's congruency between the ad and the product page. You need to make sure that when they click the ad and they land on your product page, they should be seeing usually the same image of the product. Usually, you don't always have to do that, but usually you kind of want that going on because they'll know right away they landed in the correct spot. Now, if you don't use the exact same image, you definitely want to use an image though with that product and the design like right there so that they understand they landed in the correct place. Your title. So a lot of people don't realize you can do this, but on the platform, think of your title. All that real estate there you should be analyzing as a marketer, right? Your title can be used as a headline. You can copyright in the title, right? Copyright with a WRITE afterwards, right? You can put, you can make sure, the way I normally do my titles is I name my necklace the punchline of my phrase. Because again, I'm cognizant of the fact I'm pulling on heartstrings. And then afterwards, I'll put a hyphen and then necklace. You don't have to do that though. You can use it to emphasize scarcity or urgency. You can put sale ending soon, right? You can put almost sold out. You can put things like that in your title to emphasize scarcity or urgency or something like that. You need to make sure your title is easy to read. I usually like to include necklace or bangle or something like that in the title, primarily because I want to make sure that people understand what they're buying, right? A confused mind always says no. Confused mind always says no. It's something you learn in marketing. So you want to keep things as clear as possible. I like to avoid hashtags, strange characters, anything else like that in the title. I've literally seen people put hashtags, exclamation points, just all kinds of stuff in the titles. Keep it simple and easy to read, and do not falsely advertise the product. That one's a no-brainer. If you do that, we got to pull your listing down, and that's not fun when it happens, especially if you got a winner. All right, and then you want to make sure your product page contains your offer. So whatever you offered in the ad, if you offered anything, make sure that's somewhere on the product page. So again, people understand they're landing on the same place. Make sure it contains the phrase. So whatever is in your actual design, I also like to put down in the description. I like to make sure that they can read the phrase down in the description in case it's hard to read in the actual design. Avoid big blocks of text. Nobody reads big blocks of text. It scares people away. Do not falsely advertise the product. That's super important. And make sure that somewhere it contains a call to action. So you say something like buy today, right? That's an example of a call to action. This entire checklist is going to be made available for download after this Coffee with Live. So right here in this post, if you come back, hit the refresh button, we're going to include a little link where you can actually download this entire checklist for when you go to create a product. So you probably didn't even know you're getting some freebies today, but we like to deliver. All right, we're ready for some teardowns. I'm going to pause for a second here. Do we have any questions so far? Quickly, I'll answer a few questions related to any of that. I want your help doing these teardowns today. It's going to be a little tough because there's it's like a 30, 60 second delay between you and me. So we're going to have to make it work, but I do want your help. You have all the knowledge now you need to make a winning phrase. This coffee, it just gets better and better and better. Am I right? Okay. I use the same strategy with titles, works like hell. So he's saying he's using the title as a headline, and it's a very, very smart move. Very smart move. Hey, which one, the title format by Michael or the thing he said about adding limited stocks on title space? Thanks. I'm not sure I totally understand the question, but yeah, the title in the platform, when you go to the product admin, you can write the title of the product. You can actually use that as a headline. You can use it as a headline, and you can do actual copywriting in it. So very cool stuff. Hope you review my first product. Kind of anxious. You never know. Sweats. We're doing 6 products, so you'll be able to do kind of a countdown. I might help you count that down, not to freak you out or anything. But just so you know when it's over. You never know. You never know. We'll go easy on everyone. We're going to be constructive and encouraging throughout. I did joke around in my initial post. This is supposed to help everybody. It's not. I just joke because I know it's kind of a scary thing. Facebook user says the phrase is so important. Why is it not available for all products? We are working on making the phrase available for all products, and almost all of our products are print-on-demand products, so you can put a phrase on them. So I think everything but Sweetest Hearts, and heck, I even think we're selling Sweetest Hearts with a message card, so that's not right. So I think everything can be sold with phrases. Maybe I'm missing something. Michael Zapq. This isn't a product teardown. This is a roast. No, we won't be that mean. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, product teardowns. Whoop. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we're going to have to jump around here a little bit so you guys can see that. Okay, good. And you can see that. Good. It looks legible on my screen. Can you guys let me know if you can read it? I had a problem one time doing a stream and people couldn't read this. Let me know if you can read that. It's looking good to me. I want to know if it looks good to you. All right, so let's talk about it. So you help me. What can be improved? First of all, let's talk about what they did right. Let's talk about what they did right. I'm going to draw on my screen here. Got some arrows and some funny things here. What did they do right? Make it a little bigger, cutting off on the left. People are saying it's perfect and it can be read. I'm going to make it a little bigger. That's probably as far as I'm going to be able to go, unfortunately. All right, so what did they do right? I can tell you some things I like right away, but I want to see your thoughts in the chat too. Give me some thoughts here in the chat. So I really like, first of all, that they used a picture that was relevant to the niche. They used a picture that was relevant to the niche. That one's super important, right? If this had been a To My Grandma one and you had kind of the stock image in there of like the couple or whatever, it probably wouldn't have worked. However, they added a little baby. So that was fantastic. So I think so one person says, well, here, before I get to let's talk about what's good first. Let's talk about what's good first. So I like that. I also really like this. I think that's a good example of how this product could be used. They have the little image here of the baby's name and birthday. I know exactly what this product is. So those are two things I really like about it. Just doing a quick scan, celebrate loving moments. This unique and elegant jewelry. We say unique because each piece is different. When you provide your photo, this handcraft piece will never fade. I like that. Not sure if that's a default text or not. I don't think it is though. So that's good. I like it. Okay. So let's talk about some critiques here. So, someone says it does follow the greeting card format. Yeah, that's true. To my grandma, I am as obsessed with you as you are with me. I can't wait to show you love, your grandchild. That is true. It definitely follows a greeting card format. So that's good. So let's just kind of run through this piece by piece. So follows a greeting card format. What do we think of the phrase? What do you think of the phrase? What do you think of the phrase? Somebody says it limits it to white people. Now, this goes back to what I was saying in my slides, that if you use design elements people can't identify with, it's going to turn them away. So you're automatically cutting out an entire segment of your audience here by the imagery that's been chosen. I like the obsessed. It makes me buy in emotionally. I'm as obsessed with you as you are with me. It's good. The word obsessed is a little weird. So we've got some conflicting opinions here. Okay. All right. So here's kind of what I think about it. First of all, I don't know that for me, the phrase doesn't quite do it. I think it's on track. I'd love it if this phrase rhymed, actually. So it says, I'm obsessed with you as you are with me. I can't wait to, it just feels like it's got a cadence that could set up really well for a rhyme. I'm as obsessed with you as you are with me. I can't wait to show you something, right? Finish it with a rhyme. I think making it rhyme it'd also be cute. And that ties into the whole kind of baby thing. A lot of baby phrases will rhyme. Also, I am as obsessed with you as you are with me. So I agree. The obsessed thing is, for me, it is just a little bit strange. It could probably be reworded a little bit. It's not putting me off too much. It's just a little bit weird. And I can't wait to show you. That's weird. I'm as obsessed with you as you are with me, and I can't wait to show you. Because it's really like more of a, I can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to see you. Something like that. I can't wait to show you. It doesn't quite fit. The other thing is, for me, the spacing on the phrase is a little bit strange. Like down here, you have you start drawing. Down here, you have this kind of like vertical spacing that is a little bit weird. I'd like to see a little more white space in there. And then I don't know entirely what I think about these feet. I see what's going on here in this design, but it feels really busy to me. It feels really busy, kind of this design. And the other thing is you have an image against an image. And again, that's not to say it couldn't work. It's just, for me, it's feeling a little bit busy. I'd like to see, I'm not sure why it says obsessed out here at the end of this. Whoops. I'd kind of like to see, maybe it says, to my grandma, obsessed photo necklace, something like that. Or to my grandma, photo necklace. You may not even need obsessed in there for this one. Now, one thing the user is doing, though, for everybody, is they're using free shipping here. So that's kind of cool. It's a unique tactic. In the platform, in case you don't know, there's a free shipping option. So you can run your products with free shipping. It's pretty cool. And it advertises it right here. So it increases the amount of people that make it to the cart. All right, let's go on to the next one. I feel like we've pretty much gleaned a lot of our lessons from this. To my grandma, the font color, there's something about this design that's just not working for me. It doesn't feel elegant enough to warrant a $54.95 product. That's just me. I think it feels a little busy. This blue against the kind of image, there's something about that is just off. Now listen, that's not to say this wouldn't sell, by the way. Testing is the only way you'll know on that kind of stuff. But here's some just things that are kind of standing out to me that I would probably try to fix before I spent my money testing something like this. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right. Here it is. It's a photo necklace. It's to my dog mom. I like that. That's pretty clever. Don't see a ton of those. I love the pet niche too. So this is good. Lookaboo jewelry. So they've kind of got some branding plays going on here between kind of what's in their title and then a little brand here in the image. That's kind of cool. A little branding in the image. Let's see. To my dog mom. See how the arrow kind of overlaps with the G? Not a huge deal, but keep in mind, this is already, you're starting to get into kind of a script font, which can be a little tough to read. It's just, and you've got a lot of spacing here between these words. So some people might struggle with that. I'm not saying everybody would, but some might. Thank you for being my best friend and making sure I'm fed. Thank you for all your love and for my warm and cozy bed. Thank you for the best life ever. And that's because of you. Thank you for always being there and for adoring me as you do. Guess what, Mom? I love you too. From the dog. Okay, it's kind of cute. I like that it rhymes. That's excellent that it rhymes. Rhyming is always good, especially when you're going for cute, right? In terms of the design, let me clear some of this off. It's a little bit busy. It's a lot of it busy, actually. Like from here on down, there's a lot going on. You've got kind of the dog over here. You got the prince going up this way. You have the dog looking that way. This guy is looking at the buyer. So there's just kind of a lot kind of going on. Not to mention you got these arrows here. Not that all that's necessarily bad. Again, testing is how you find out if a lot of this works. But there's kind of a lot going on here. I think the phrase is good. If this design didn't work, I probably wouldn't give up totally on the phrase. I think I'd keep kind of playing with this to see if I could get this phrase to work. This pet stuff can absolutely crush it. Now's a great time of year to be doing it, especially with this whole Mother's Day thing going on. So I totally wouldn't give up on this. I love the phrase. The phrase to me is the strongest part about this particular design. It's not wrong to have the paws in here because it's speaking to the niche you're selling in. So you don't necessarily have to get away from that, but it's pretty busy right now. Another thing is, like, when you have these overlapping, it's going to be hard for me to point this out, but you have the Y kind of comes down here. It overlaps with the banner. Anytime you have some of that stuff going on, it's going to feel more busy than it actually is. You kind of have the paw doing it here. You've got the G and the paw here kind of touching each other. There's not a ton of space there between the top of the dog's head and the other text. You have this F here kind of touching the heart or whatever. So yeah, again, I like the phrase. The phrase is pretty long. It's going to be challenging to make the phrase work. You might see if there's a certain sentence, that you can take out of the phrase to fit it all on here. But that's what I would recommend. I'd recommend kind of hanging with that phrase, maybe seeing if you can shorten it a little bit without losing its impact. And I'd probably play with different designs using the same phrase. It's probably what I would do. From the dog is weird. I don't know. People give that as kind of cute gifts sometimes. So, and kind of the aim is to be cutesy, funny kind of thing like that. So I don't know. To me, it's not so weird. Too many ways for the eyes to follow. Yeah, I saw that too. To my is off placed, I think. Yeah. Oh, you mean like it's not centered, I think is what you're saying. Yeah, you might be right. Because I think the center line is something like, can I move that now? No, I can't move it now. I've drawn it. But yeah, it might be off. You might be right about that. I'd have to look at that like in Photoshop or something like that. That's a good point. Adrian says he'd remove the dog silhouette. I do feel like some more white space. It'd help you make the phrase bigger and it'd feel a little less busy. Space is your friend when you have this problem. I'd make 2 columns with the text. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, that's an interesting point too, because you read across it and then you got to jump, right? And then you read across it and you got to jump. And again, a confused mind is always going to say no. You need to try to make this stuff easy for people to consume and understand, things like that. Carol says, I've sold from the cat before. Yeah, it'll work. It'll work really, really well. I totally agree with you. I think from the dog will work 100%. From the mutt, from the pooch, there's probably a bunch of different ways you can play that. Okay, also notice here, we've got the title going on, To My Dog Mom, heart pendant, 50% off sale plus free shipping. So they're using the title as a headline. I like that. It's creative. To My Dog Mom heart pendant. I personally, this is just probably my own thing, but I'd probably put a pipe right here, like a vertical pipe, So it's like it's probably going to be very big. Let me blow that up. To My dog mom. I probably wouldn't put heart pendant, actually, just because you're using it as a headline. Too many words may hurt you here. I'd actually maybe even start with 50% off. Say 50% off plus free shipping, right? I'd probably write it just like that. Can everybody see that? Here, let me empty the screen. I'll start over. I'd probably write it like this: 50% off plus free shipping, right? The reason is because that catches your eye, right? You've got the percent sign in there, you got the plus sign in there. It's kind of short. It really kind of draws your eye. And then maybe what you could do is a pipe, and then you could put to my dog mom heart pendant, right? Something like that. Or what you could do is you could maybe just leave this as the headline up here at the top, and then right here at the bottom put, to my dog mom heart pendant description. You can do it like that too. You got to test and see what works. You have to test and see what works. All right, we're only on 2. We got a bunch more coming. Love it. Not a big thing, but in the US, jewelry only has 1 L. Just notice it on your company name. Ooh, that is actually a great catch. Now you said not in the US. So is it spelled differently, like in the UK or something? Because I didn't know that. Super cute poem. See, I told you the phrase here is probably worth kind of playing with for a while to see if you can find a place where it can hit. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so that's to my dog mom. We got 4 more. We're going to need to move a little bit faster here. So this one, to my boyfriend's beautiful mom. A man who treats his woman like a princess. To my boyfriend's beautiful mom. Okay, to my boyfriend's beautiful mom. A man who treats his woman like a princess. A man who treats is the proof that he was born and raised in the arms of a queen. Okay, I see where this one was going. Thank you for giving me the chance and learning to love me when you knew your son was doing the same. Thank you for giving me the chance and learning to love me when you knew your son was doing so. Thank you for always welcoming me into the family with open arms and a warm heart. Our relationship means so much to me, and I feel so lucky to have you in my life. Thank you for sharing your son. I'd like to hear from some of the women in the group, in the chat. I'd like to hear your opinions on this one. Before I say anything, I'd like to hear some opinions of some of the women in the group, particularly women who maybe have a son that's old enough to be dating. I'd like to know what you think. So jewelry is with 2 L's in Australia. Interesting. Had no idea. Facebook user says, thanks, super helpful and supportive as always. Oh, that's awesome. You were watching. Fantastic. Keep that phrase going. I really think there's something in that phrase for you. Okay, so getting some initial thoughts on this particular design. Still waiting here. Do we have any brave people in the group? Like the design, just a bit long but cute. Okay. As a mom of a son, I love the idea, but the phrase maybe needs to be tightened up. Okay, good feedback. I like that. I found the sharing aspect a bit peculiar. Thank you for sharing your son. I suppose I can see where you're coming from. Carl says, too wordy for me. Let's see, Lindy. I'd love to hear that from my son's girlfriend, but we don't have that kind of relationship. All right, so here are my thoughts on it. So I read a lot of phrases. So my initial confusion when I was reading through it actually wasn't a reflection on the phrase itself. It was just my brain trying to switch gears here. I actually thought it was my brain read it as to my girlfriend's beautiful mom. And I was like, whoa. So anyway, you're going to have to forgive me there. But to my boyfriend's beautiful mom, I can see how this would be sweet and kind of endearing if the relationship was appropriate for something like that. And by appropriate, I just mean it was like warm enough for a gift like this. Now, I will tell you that to me, this feels a little bit. So here's what I'm thinking about it. If they're boyfriend and girlfriend still, they probably don't know each other super well. The girlfriend and the boyfriend's mom. Okay, so if the relationship has been around for a while, it's probably going to be more appropriate for something like this. But the nature of boyfriend-girlfriend relationships is that they're shorter in duration, right? So that makes me think this may actually work even better for like a fiance type of gift, a fiance type of gift. Zoom into the product. Yeah. Sorry, peoples. Better. I love it if my son had a girlfriend. I probably shouldn't have put that up. Oh boy. All right, phrase a bit long. Okay, let's get back to it. Anyway, it seems like this would probably work for fiance type of gift, but test it. You never know. Test it and find out. I will tell you this. This here is feeling a little bit long, like to my boyfriend's beautiful mom. I mean, it's following the greeting card format. It's got for the most part, it's got the greeting part anyway, maybe not the salutation. But this, I don't know, for me, that's a big mouthful, but it's like niching down on the greeting. So maybe that'll work. And you never know, there might be somebody out there trying to find a gift for their boyfriend's mom, and this shows up at the right time, and boom, it's just perfect. So I think you have to test it to really know. In terms of the design itself, I like that the design here, notice it hits all the stuff I like to talk about. It's staying away from the middle shades on the value spectrum, especially like in the background area, like through here, it's like all white, and that's good because then the text contrasts very easily, so it's easy to read. Another thing I like going on about it is the actual design elements, like these little gold specks here all over the place, right? And these little leaves down here, they're abstract, they're complementary, they're not distracting, they're not too busy. Like the phrase really is the thing that kind of stands out here. So I like all of that. Now, when it comes to the actual phrase itself, you got 3 different fonts going on here, and that's a little bit, it's not bad up here, right? You can have kind of a unique font up here at the top. That's fine. It kind of makes it stand out. And this isn't too scripty to be difficult to read. I mean, it's right there on the edge, though. Some people may have trouble with this. This here, though, I don't think you really need 2 fonts. And also, this is verging on a wall of text as well. This is dense down here at the bottom. I would maybe even see if that could be shortened up, made into a single font. And then also, what I might do to like really round out the greeting card format is this "thank you for sharing your son." If that's how you want to end the particular design or the phrase, I'd maybe make that kind of stand out, kind of like that. It shouldn't really compete with it, but you can make it so that it stands out at least from the phrase up here with like a fancy font and styling or something like that. But that would be my feedback on the phrase, is maybe shorten this up. It's verging on a wall of text. And then if you're going to use the greeting card format, that's probably where it should begin. All right, so let's look at the title, Almost Gone. Didn't I tell you? I've seen people use this, Almost Gone, right here. You've got somebody using it as kind of a headline. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier when I was going over what makes a winning design. Almost Gone, gift for boyfriend's mom, the arms of a queen to love not. So the rest of that, though, I don't really like. Gift for a boyfriend's mom, the arms of a queen to, like that's going to mean nothing to the buyer. Love not. Love not also means nothing to the buyer. So look, I know that as sellers, we can identify all of our jewelry. Love not, alluring beauty, forever love, interlocking hearts. That all means something to us. It means nothing to the buyer. So I usually just like to put necklace, just necklace. That usually works, right? This too is weird. What I do is Almost Gone, gift for boyfriend's mom, necklace, if that's how I was going to style it. Let's read down here. We do not have free shipping on this one. That's fine. It's totally up to you. Love not necklace represents an unbreakable bond between 2 souls. The symbol of eternal love is forever favorite and trending everywhere. Surprise your loved one for a gorgeous gift today. So it looks like some things have been added to the description. A lot of it's out of the box. Looks like this here was added. And then we got some emojis going on here. I'm pretty sure that we have not gone back and rewritten the description on this. I could be wrong. So that's my feedback on this one. Let me look at the comments here and see what you have. Color is pretty on the eye, pretty and easy on the eye. Nice job. I agree. I do like the colors and the layout. Yep. Background's cute. Yep. To my future mom, that's not a bad one, except if it truly is boyfriend-girlfriend relationship and they're not engaged yet, that's going to put an awful lot of pressure on the boyfriend. He may not like that. So I see where you're going with it. Not a bad angle. Meaning, I think what you're saying is you could, instead of doing you could go after the fiance audience. Yeah, I'm talking past the point. You're right. You're right, David. You could spin this to another niche, right? So rather than to my boyfriend's beautiful mom, you could put to my future mom and then go after the engaged group. That's totally right. I was missing your point there at the beginning. All right. Are there two different fonts in that phrase? Yep. Two types of fonts looks weird. Yep. I'm not the only one on that. I like it. A little too wordy. Yeah, I agree with you. One font at the bottom is adequate. Lots of feedback on using the multiple fonts, sounds like. Now, this is an interesting one. I think from Facebook user, I think it's weird. For when I buy something for my mother-in-law, it's from the both of us. But it doesn't always have to be that way. I do get your point. But, my wife has gotten gifts from my mom before. My mom's gotten her gifts exclusively. So I see your point, but I think it's still okay. Okay, let's keep going. We got 3 more. We got to get moving. Okay, happy Mother's Day. Let me make that bigger. Okay, happy Mother's Day, Nana. Forever love necklace from granddaughter. Okay, now let's read. Happy Mother's Day, Nana. You're not a bad cook. You're not a bad cook for a bloody old chook. Lots of love from your cheeky granddaughter. All right. No, lots of love from your cheeky granddaughter. Okay, so it is granddaughter. All right. This is a fun one. Okay, so happy Mother's Day, Nana. Okay, Nana, you're using the greeting card format, kind of like that. This is supposed to be funny, it seems like. So if you're laughing, you're probably getting the intent, okay? You're not a bad cook for a bloody old chook. So I'm assuming this is for like an audience in like not the US, because bloody for one is not commonly used language in the United States. Nana is not typically used. That's not to say it's never used. I just don't know that's typical. And then chook. I gotta be honest, I don't even know what that word means. So it's probably not going to work for an audience here. You're not a bad cook. Also, I notice your here. It should be your with an apostrophe. It should be this one. Your. Right? You are. Right? Not your. You are not a bad cook. So we got a grammar mistake here we're going to need to work out. Another thing in particular with the product page is notice I landed on this page here and I cannot even read. Like daughter gets completely cut off right there. I actually wondered if the ER had been left off. That's why I clicked to the other thing. Okay, so something else here. I think this is part of the humor, but like that is just weird. It's just weird to have these two images of these old ladies smiling and stuff. I don't know if somebody here is from the UK and can kind of pitch in and tell me if this is funny. It would actually help me. To me, I'm not getting it. It's funny, like it's funny in a way that I would share it with you guys to laugh. It's probably not funny in a way I would gift this to somebody. At least that's how I'm kind of digesting this one. So I'd be happy to hear some feedback. I'm going to click on one of the other thumbnails here because I think it's a little easier to kind of see the whole product. I definitely wouldn't use that kind of angled one, especially if it's cutting off part of the phrase. Sounds Australian. Don't you say Chuck? And don't Aussie say Chuck? That image scared me. Yeah, I kind of have that going on too. Let's see. Michelle says, I'm a Nana. It's huge in the USA. I could be wrong. I know though that like mum, right? MUM is not commonly used in the United States, but it's used like more in the UK, right? And we use mom, MOM, more often. Ooh, this is an interesting point. Granddaughter is one word. That is true. That's actually caught me up on some of my own designs before. So it's spelled with a space. I don't know. It's such a huge deal, but it is a good point. Don't like the photos. Yeah, that's what's sticking out to me about it. I'm not really getting it. I think it's funny. It's part of the humor. Like grandma is laughing too. Now, see, maybe I just don't get it on this one. Could be, but I will say this: if I'm not getting it, are other people going to get it? I don't really know. Don't really know right now. Let's see. They're not even the same woman, are they? I don't think so. Looks kind of creepy. Okay, so it sounds like this is not, maybe it's a cuss word, like an Aussie cuss word. I have no idea, people. I really didn't notice the necklace. Now, that is a interesting observation because I didn't either. My eyes, so this is going to be funny. My eyes were where do you guys think my eyes were drawn to? Specifically, try to get specific. Where do you think my eyes immediately went when I pulled this up? Where do you think my eyes immediately went when I pulled this up? Because I bet you a bunch of you had the same exact thing, same thing happen. Photos, yep, but let's be more specific. Where do you think exactly? Whoa, to her mouth? Nope, but pretty close, pretty close. All right, so lady on the right, nope. My eyes were drawn to this. Immediately, I'm like, she's looking at me. Like as soon as it popped up, it was like there was something in the back of my brain that was like threat, you know, like because I just saw a face like staring at me, and that was a huge distraction for me. It took me kind of a second to put the rest of this puzzle together. So anyway, I think we probably spent enough time on this one. This one's a fun one. Look, when it comes to the actual design itself, we have some issues with the mock-ups. You've got the letters. There's like no white spacing really up here. The letters are almost touching the frame. You've got this white space here is just odd because it's not proportional to anything down here. And then your phrase itself is kind of bunched together. Granddaughter shouldn't have a space in between it. Your has kind of this issue here. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I assume it's supposed to be funny. Test it and see if it works. Let me know if this does work. I'd be blown away to know the results on that. And all right, let's go to the next one. Okay, we got two more. We're going to go really quick. Baseball mom. Let me make this bigger for everybody. Baseball mom. All right, behind every baseball player who believes in himself is a baseball mom who believed in him first. Thank you for always being my cheerleader. All right, so this is a gift to a mom from a baseball player. Then the title over here, Baseball Mom Mother's Day Gift Forever Love Necklace. And then the design, you've got kind of you got a batter with this like reverse silhouette going on, and then the mom and the kid in here. So, and then you've got some copywriting, clever copywriting down here in the description. Last chance, buy today, get $30 off plus free shipping, discount applied automatically. I really like to do this with my copy as well, something like that. I like to put it right here at the top of the description, my offer, and I usually try to reiterate this offer in my ads as well. So I kind of like what's going on there. They're also using free shipping, should increase the amount of add to carts, so that's a good thing as well right here. All right, let's talk about the design. Okay, a few things here. This to me is I'd be surprised how long this individual has used ShineOn. Like I bet they're relatively new to the print-on-demand space. Could be totally wrong here. But the reason I kind of think that is because this completely distracts from that, right? Like it almost feels like the design overpowers the phrase. It is a clever design. Don't get me wrong. Like it's kind of clever with the guy and the baseball bat and all that. Now the phrase itself, let's talk about the gift and whether or not the gift is appropriate for the niche. Behind every baseball player who believes in himself is a baseball mom who believed in him first. Thank you for always being my cheerleader. I don't know that many think of a baseball player who's like someone that's into the sport enough that like they would buy a baseball niched gift for somebody else. You got to think that that individual is probably, just think of that individual, probably type A personality, probably hitting the gym, very competitive, probably got kind of a macho kind of thing going on. Maybe not. But like that's kind of, you think of the caricature a little bit of a jock, right? Now, are they going to thank their mom for always being their cheerleader? What do you guys think about that? No cheerleaders in baseball. Now, that's actually a very good point. There's not. But even as a manner of speaking, right? Do you think they're going to thank their mom for being a cheerleader? Somebody says there's no to my. It's right. It doesn't really follow the greeting card format, does it? Someone says they love the phrase. Now, this is a phrase that's actually sold really well in other niches. So I see where the phrase came from. Adrian caught that too. Where's the to? Here we go. I like what Carol says here. It's designed for the baseball player, not the mom. And Carol must be from the UK. See how she put mum? M-U-M? Told you. Anyway, I agree. It's not really designed. It doesn't feel like it's designed for the mom. It feels like it's more for the baseball player. I don't know, though. I mean, I say that, but then, you kind of got this going on. It's kind of cute, I guess. Beth says a guy wouldn't. Phrases maybe a little childlike. David says no. That individual would probably not thank a mom for being a cheerleader. I'd use the word support instead of cheerleader. I probably would too. I still don't think this is. I still think someone said it feels a little childlike, and it does. Like, I just don't see a grown man buying, like, regardless of what that says here, I'm just not sure I see a grown man totally buying this. But you'll never know if you don't test. You got to test. The necklace is lost. Yeah, I can kind of see that. All right, so I think it doesn't follow the greeting card format. Definitely should try to work some of those elements in, at least. The design here, it just, I don't know. I feel like this one needs a lot of work. You'll never know if you don't test, so you can always test it. This here, for me, this is probably not going to work. And every baseball player who believes in himself is a baseball mom who believed in him first. Yeah, so those are my 2 cents on that one. It just doesn't, it feels like there's quite a bit. This one feels like it's missed the plot a little bit on this particular niche. Now the phrase, though, I've seen this phrase before. I know that came from research. So whoever did this, fantastic job doing your research. But yeah, it's just the rest of this that's going to need some work. And it's a clever design, and I see what you're going for here. Like, you did put a lot of thought into the baseball kind of theme here. And you got the kids here, but unfortunately, there's just something missing with the niche. Like, who's going to buy this and give it to their mom? And does this work for that individual? That's where I think you've got some problems here. There's a product market fit issue. Okay, let's go to the next. All right. Michael, this is a good suggestion. Maybe put biggest fan instead of cheerleader. I still think there's a product market issue, a product market fit issue there, personally. Okay, let's go to this one. So let's read it first. Happy Mother's Day, my sunshine. Mom, you're like a sunflower. Even on your darkest days, you stand tall and lead us toward the light. Happy Mother's Day, my sunshine. Mom, you're like a sunflower. Even on your darkest days, you stand tall and lead us toward the light. Happy Mother's Day, my sunshine. Okay, so it doesn't really follow the greeting card format, but this is like just for Mother's Day. You might be able to get away for it. It does say my sunshine, right? It might be better if it said to my sunshine, happy Mother's Day, and then a little to right here, and it says to my sunshine. Then mom, this is the part I know it's like the central kind of focus of the design, but in terms of the phrase, it doesn't. Happy Mother's Day to my sunshine, Mom. In terms of the phrase, to me, it feels a little jarring. But the design itself may actually save you, because the design, like I personally don't think the design is all that bad. I kind of like how the color, you've got kind of a theme going on with the color here and the yellows. That's all kind of cool. You've kind of squeezed in the phrase here. You're trying to bring balance to it with some of that stuff, you know. So like all of that's kind of cool. What I'd probably do is I'd work on this and work on this, because my guess is if you can nail the right phrase with this, you could probably get some pretty decent sales on it. The flowers are a daisy, not a sunflower. Now, I think fair enough, but I'm pretty sure that this is a sunflower. And I'm from Kansas, so I should know what a sunflower looks like. I think those are sunflowers, the big ones. The rest, I think you're right. It's a bit busy. Yeah, it might be a bit busy, but I don't know. I still feel like this one's redeemable. I think you got some issues up here, and then I'm just not sure the phrase. You're like a sunflower, even on darkest of days, you stand tall and lead us toward the light. That phrase is just it's not moving me emotionally, right? It's remember, people on Facebook, they're not shopping, guys. They're reading about their friends and stuff like that, and catching up on relationships. And when your ad comes up, it's your one chance to get them to buy something. You're gonna have to grab them and move them emotionally if you want to provoke them to buy. And this phrase to me doesn't quite do that. You're like a sunflower, even on your darkest days, you stand tall and lead us toward the light. It doesn't have, it's not really following the greeting card format because it doesn't say who it's from, right? That would help a little bit too. I really think, look, I personally think the design is redeemable. I'd work on this and I'd work on this and I'd keep testing. Use the rest of it as kind of a design template and keep kind of testing and turning that over. Let me see what you guys think on this one. The necklace kind of blends in with the background. Yeah, it does, but it's kind of by design. Like, I'm not sure if you guys can see it on your screen, but right here, there's like a flower or something right behind the necklace. It's like like one of the dandelion things where you blow on it and the petals go all over the place, or the whatever those are, the seeds. So I think that's kind of by design. I'd make the MS darker. Oh, my sunshine, I think is what he's saying this here. Yeah, that's actually probably a good point, because it kind of gets lost right there, because it's like, think of all the bold stuff going on around it. You have Happy Mother's Day in black. You got these sunflowers right here. It says Mom right underneath it with this necklace here. And it's very easy for your eyes to just run right over the top of it. Plus, this chain is kind of drawing your eyes inward, right? Same with this here. Like, all of that kind of draws your eyes down. And it is pretty easy to jump right over this sunshine. So I tend to agree with that. So that's good feedback. The yellow is pretty for Mother's Day. Yeah, I think so too, actually. It's springtime. You have new growth. There are a lot of flowers, wild flowers out. I agree. Center of the top text, lose the my sunshine, change it to point us. Okay, don't get the point us. Center. I still, guys, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I kind of like the flowers. They could probably be smaller though. Actually, they're pretty big. If you were to center it, maybe what you could do is keep have some flowers down here, right? And then your phrase could go like here, and then you could slide this over, because this wouldn't be here anymore. Something like that. There's some things you can do. I guess I like the theme. I like the flowers. I kind of like how it says Mom here. So again, I think this is pretty redeemable. I just think it needs some improvement. It's just not quite there yet. Let's see. Get rid of the flowers on the lower left and center the phrase horizontally at the bottom. So he's kind of going with what I was saying. He's saying get rid of this and then slide this over, whoops, to like here and center it. I think you can achieve the same effect though by just making the flowers a little bit smaller and putting it like right here. And then you're not using the little pops of yellow to kind of make this kind of work. You can also put some flowers here and here if you wanted. You can, there's a lot I think you can do with this. You're heading in the right direction, whoever these are. Kansas, yes, that's right. All right, let me ask you real quick. Were these product teardowns helpful today? Were these helpful today? We have new folks in the group. You haven't seen my previous product teardowns. Was this helpful today? If this was helpful, give me some fire in the chat, if you could, please. Fire in the chat. Happy Mother's Day. Yes. Yes, helpful. Absolutely, yes. Okay, great. Fantastic. Facebook user. Love the enthusiasm of Facebook user. Facebook user is the most enthusiastic of, I think, everybody that watches these, actually. Probably get the most comments. Definitely the most emojis. Got some fires coming in. Thank you. Super helpful. Awesome. Hey, do me a favor. Hit that like button, too, while you're at it. That'd be nice. Yes, teardowns are always great. OMG, so helpful. I'm going to change my dog when I run it again. Yeah, you're onto something there. Don't give up with that, but you just keep kind of tweaking it. Keep kind of tweaking it. You'll know when it kind of falls into place. I had a phrase, the first phrase I ever did that really took off. I probably went through, I'm not kidding, probably 20 different iterations on it. Like I was selling it and it was break even for a long time. It was break even for like 2 months. And I was like, man, there's got to be something I can do here to get this thing over break even. So I just started experimenting with the design. So I kept the phrase the same, started experimenting with the design. I bet you I went through 20 iterations. I landed on one and it freaking took off on me. It was the first product I ever scaled. I sold like over 10,000 units on it. But and that was it. It was the phrase was telling me I was onto something. The design was discouraging people. It was my first kind of foray into print on demand like this. And once I kind of learned some of everything I'm teaching you here, that the design kind of needs to be in the background, complements the phrase, all that kind of stuff, it just, boom, took off. All right, let's move to a little bit of Q&A. Let's get back here. We're going to do some Q&A just for a little bit, probably 5 or 10 minutes, and then we are going to wrap up. We're going to wrap up. 5 or 10 minutes Q&A, and then we are going to wrap up. So John from ShineOn just sent me a picture where he's giving, I don't know if did this really just happen? Slack me if that really just happened. I'll get it on the screen somehow. Or actually, how could we do that? Anyway, John just he sent me a picture of him handing a backpack to Adrian. So it's that's how good we are with this swag stuff. That's what I'm talking about. That's ShineOn fulfillment right there. That's if we're getting our swag out that fast, think how fast we're getting the jewelry out. Consider it. It's real. John really did just give Adrian some swag. Adrian must have head over to headquarters there. That's awesome. I need that picture. Hey, Sophia, if you're watching this, will you come into the deck? Drop this picture on my Q&A slide here, if you could. And let me know after you've done it on Slack, because I'll refresh it. Anyways, only if we get it done here before we wrap up Q&A. I think it'll be funny for everybody to see that, though. Jane says, first time here, I'm impressed. So I'm glad you learned here from the product teardowns. It's been a while since I've done them. I was a little bit rusty, but fire, digging the fire. Yep. Okay. Thanks, Michael. Will do. All right. Questions. Please explain the design area size. I see a lot of designs that covers a whole template area. Well, we try to give you guidelines that show you where the bleed and the cutoff is and all that kind of stuff is a safety net. I will tell you that what I typically do, I upload the design, go look at the mock-up, and then I go adjust my design accordingly because I have to get the design looking good on the mock-up or it's not going to sell. So I usually let the mock-up dictate kind of the layout or the size of the image more so than the actual guide. That's just how I do it. But always remember, you need to leave some room around the edges, or you risk getting your design cut off. Okay, check this out. Sophia, who is awesome. Look at that. Isn't that awesome, guys? Adrian literally got swag at the beginning of this coffee with Michael, and he's getting it right now. He already got it, right? That's how good we are. That's how good we are. Now, I don't know what's going on with that penguin. Oh boy. Hey, are there penguin emojis? Can we get some penguins they're like ice chickens, right? They're like snow chickens. Give me some penguins in the chat here. We got some penguin emojis. Pretty sure those exist, right? All right. I created a campaign has been under review for 14 hours. Is this normal? My first view were a couple hours. So if you're still on low ad spend, it can be normal. Sometimes though, it does get stuck. It's kind of rare, but what you can do is turn it off, turn it back on, and I bet you it'll get approved. That's happened to me before. Every now and then it's like one of them falls through the cracks. I can't say for sure that's what's going on with you, but that can happen. Anytime you have a new ad account or something like that, though, you can expect long delays. It's just how they are. Let's see. Started mine 2 days ago. What's the best way to set a Mother's Day campaign? Well, you want to create a Mother's Day product first, and then you want to go and like your product is going to be niched in its own way, right? Depending on who your target audience is. Then you're going to go create your Facebook campaign. And at the ad set level, it's where you choose the targeting. You're going to want to play around with the interests and try to make sure that you're pointing that ad to people most likely to buy it. Now, look, I know it's super high level and probably not practically helpful. I would recommend you go to our YouTube channel and watch a lot of our YouTube videos. We cover all this stuff. You have to crawl around a little bit to find it, but you can. Another thing is I did open up ShineOn 100K this week. I haven't made any big announcements or anything. However, I do have a course on how to do all this. You can go to ShineOn100K.com, ShineOn100K.com, and you can pick up the course, and then the course we go through it too. So I hope that's helpful. But if you're not interested in the course, that's fine. The YouTube channel's got a lot of it. You just may have to kind of search around in the channel to find the specific video that answers your question. Let's see. You do more product teardowns later. I might do another video. You know, it just kind of depends. I got a lot of topics I need to cover. I only get 4 of these a month. However, I might. And when I do, I'll make sure I post the Google form and stuff again so things can be submitted. I'm thinking about, we got some things in the works where you might be able to get one of these from like a pro seller soon. Not quite there yet. Oh, look at us. Look at that. We got some snow chickens. Snow chickens going on. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody sees the little penguin back there, huh? Oh, man. We have fun on these, don't we? All right. What is the latest sell date to make sure the product is delivered by Mother's Day? Hey, John, can you answer that? I believe we were just talking about this earlier this week, and I think we said that. I'm worried I'm going to say the wrong date, so I'm going to let John answer that. So look for his comment here in the chat. I noticed the dog pen had a different pic than the regular mockup. Can we get change of mockup? Yes, you can. You have to download the file. I believe you can download it right in the product admin when you go to create the photo mockup. You can download the mockup for that particular image, and then you can go change out the PSD. I think it's also available in Canto as well. And then I also think once you've made the product and it's got all the thumbnails, like I'm talking the product admin, we get to choose to add photos or whatever. Pretty sure you can go to that particular mockup and download the PSD and edit that as well. How do we get the contents or the pointers or the phrase and design again? Fantastic question. I'm glad you brought that up. What you can do is as soon as this video is over, give me like 5 minutes and then come to this post and just hit refresh. And I'm going to add the link where you can download the product teardown checklist or the product creation checklist into the post. So you'll see it there, and then I'll also drop it in the comments. Sophia, I don't know if you're still listening, but if you could drop it in the comments here, that bit.ly link, that might be helpful. Should you always be spelling mom for the USA? Yeah. MUM is not common here. Mom, MOM, is what's common. We're going to be wrapping up here. Just another minute or two. Dale says he did purchase the course. Yeah, fantastic, buddy. Thanks for doing that. There's targeting sections in there. If you're still stuck, you reach out to me on Facebook. Now, just bear with me, buddy. I'm a little bit buried on Facebook, but I'll try to keep my eyes peeled for that, and I'll help you out. Where can I get the info on the course? ShineOn100k.com, ShineOn100k.com. I do plan on updating it soon. It's, I think it was last updated. It was either Q4 or Q1 of last year. So there's more to be added to it. Q4 of 2020, just to be clear, Q4 of 2020 or Q1 of 2021. There is some more that needs to be added to it. There's some other methods I'd like to add to it. There's some things I want to build out. I want to add a whole Shopify section. It's on my to-do list. I'm just not quite there yet. So just know if you do pick it up, you're buying what we created in Q3, Q4, and I think it was finished. We may have updated a little bit in Q1 of 2021. So that's what you're purchasing. ShineOn100k.com. All right, looks like we kind of run through the phrases. We've gone about an hour and 40 minutes today. So I'd like to keep these to an hour, so I have overshot. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for showing up. If you found this helpful, please like this post, like it, give it a heart, drop me some snow chickens or whatever in the chat, and hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Thanks for joining This Coffee with Michael, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. What's up, everybody? Michael Christ here. I want to thank you so much for checking out today's video. Before you leave, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Check out all the links in the description below, particularly the link to register on ShineOn.com and also the link to our Facebook group where we are constantly sharing marketing tips and tricks to help you take your e-commerce game to the next level. So once again, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you in the next one.